All right, guys, welcome. It's Tuesday, April 6th, because tomorrow's my birthday, so it has to be the 6th. HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders here on YouTube. Somewhere along the lines, there'll be a link up on Facebook. I don't know if they're going to allow us to do it. We'll see. Oh, they did let us do it? Okay, so it's up. Mike was able to do that. Please like, share, subscribe. Share to your friends, share to your family. It'll make holidays more interesting. Don't worry. Mine was. Oh, no, you know what? Oh, so they can't hear you guys. Hang on one second. So here's Mike and Jacob, and you guys couldn't hear him, but he asked how my Easter Sunday or anybody's Easter Sunday was. You know what? We did talk a little bit of politics, which was interesting on Sunday. So at Jane's mom's house. So it was interesting.
We did like nothing for Easter. I mean, like sat home and did nothing.
My mom came over, but that was about it. Like the kids did the thing, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Oh, like Easter Sunday, here's your basket, here's your candy.
Right.
Threw some eggs in the backyard. They ran around, but that shit all weekend was work, roof building and pinning and everything else.
Nice.
No, understood.
Nope. Yeah, I almost. So it's funny. I didn't even realize it was Tuesday until my alarm went off at 7:00, telling me to get ready for the show. I was still standing outside, fucking around with the greenhouse. So
yeah,
like, nice.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah. We heard.
Oh God.
Digging holes.
Yeah, we won't go into the rest of the conversation.
Oh yeah, that conversation's not okay for YouTube.
No, not even for YouTube. Oh man.
So, but yeah, so we have a gun
group
show
stuff.
coming
We didn't really get into what we were going to talk about group wise. The only thing I can think of is
what do we got coming up?
I'm going to look something up.
We do have the Berea gun show coming up.
I think we got one of those state FTX things coming up, don't we? Like,
is that an FTX or are we just camping?
Or is that just camp?
This is just camping.
Okay, I was saying, okay. Don't scare me like that.
It's still state invited camping. It's not like you have to go.
Right. It is state sanctioned camping. Yes.
Yeah, of course. The first weekend after I work a whole week on my new job.
We'll roll with state sanctioned camping. Daddy Cosper said you can attend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the other Mike said it's okay.
That's like 10 days from now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just so this event is really just just get together, have fun.
That's gonna be a crazy couple of weeks because we've
got. I saw somebody posted the weather down there for that weekend. Looks like it's supposed to be 80s the whole time. Like, I mean, come on, we've been up, down, up, down. If we have an entire weekend of 80s, it might. Hold on. I'm going to try to say it as quiet as possible. It might be the first time we've gotten together and it not fucking rain.
Hey.
And now it'll rain.
Yeah, you just screwed us.
That's just like
all I can say to this. All I can say to that fact is, for years I've had the job where you never let your wife ask you what time you plan on being home because you're not coming home that night if that's asked.
Right.
You never say, how's your day going because it's going to go to shit. And I now have a job where you can say that shit. It doesn't change the outcome of the job.
Still get to go home. Yeah.
I go home when it's time to go home.
So we also are
used
doing
to be like that, but this last 2 weeks, man, I've been actually working. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I didn't want to do any manual labor before I started my new job, but it just kind of happened that way. We also
every weekend. Well, and see, I think that goes right back into what we kind of left off with and started with last week is, the prepper, prepared person, or homesteader. You listen to us. We're over here bitching and moaning about work. We're bitching and moaning about our jobs, being work, and it's like, even when that's said and done, the weekend comes, we're still busting our asses.
Right.
We're getting everything ready. I mean, Cosper, how many food plots do you got out already? How many seeds do you got sprouting already?
Not much yet because we're kind of in a holding because we might wind up Well, that is a huge spider. All right, I gotta keep watching that. If you hear a gunshot, if you hear a gunshot,
black out your screen if you pull the gun, please.
Holy cow! Because that thing is all of a sudden it just came crawling in between the two windows. Like, hey, you want some? Holy hell!
Pitter patter, let's get at it.
So
yeah, that's a nasty one. But anyways, no, we might wind up we might actually wind up moving. So
right.
yeah, it's a long story, but yeah. So, but I'm starting some seedling stuff, and I think what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna start most of my stuff this year in buckets in case we do, so I can just transport easily.
Yeah, we redid our entire garden setup. We've got it all in one centralized fenced in area. We built bucket containers. They're about 4 feet high. So deer out here are about the only thing that can get to it.
Wood prices are going to put off my putting up raised beds
you ain't
because
kidding, man.
I mean for the greenhouse and the roof for the hot tub, I probably spent like $1,700.
I know,
and it's not a lot of wood. Like
no,
it's the price. Are you buying treated?
Only a little bit. So no. So most of it is just regular
construction
wood. Yep.
It's still. I mean, it's still a chunk of change.
Compared to what it was a year ago. Holy cow.
Well, and so, but they're even saying it's going to go up more and become. Now that the weather's breaking like it is, and it's staying at least semi-nice, that I was warned a couple weeks ago. Order your stuff now because a few people have already told me the prices are gonna keep going up and up because
because they always go up a little in the summer. You know, that's just like everything else.
But everybody's so busy right now. They're surprised at how busy they are. So I know you've been busy.
That's
they spent the last year in their house figuring out all the shit that was broke.
Dude, I know. Trust me. We're stupid busy because that's exactly it. We've had
these floors are horrible. Hire somebody to fix them.
Oh, everything. Well, we've had people that were like, before kind of this started, they were gonna do like, a room or two, and now they're like, yeah, we got to do it all.
Yep.
Yeah. They've been, some of them in Coop actually been in their houses for months, like didn't leave. We had one lady who hadn't left for a year.
Oh God.
Which was great for us because she's like, everything in here sucks. It all has to go. We're like,
nice.
Cool.
Thanks for the paycheck.
That's some extra money. You go buy a new gun at the gun shop.
Oh hell yeah, because she didn't go anywhere. So all her, she got all her stimmy money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Well, you know what though? You could blow your stimmy money just sitting on Amazon. I'm telling you now.
Oh yeah. But you know what though? In all fairness to that, and I know we're getting off a group, but whatever.
Which group?
Yeah, it's sort of group. But
this is the kind of shit we would talk about sitting around the fire.
Yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do with your stimulus. You're supposed to spend it in the economy, whether and I'm sure you'll get those. You're like, oh my God, you spent it on Amazon, but whatever, go screw yourself.
I mean, it
is what it is. But But the worst thing to do with that money is to save it.
Right.
It really is. It's meant to stimulate the economy, and you can't stimulate the economy by sitting in your account. And besides, who knows? By next week, it might not be worth the money it's printed on. So.
You never know. Yeah.
So spend it.
Didn't I bring that up last?
Spend it.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta get back.
Take out all your savings. You're gonna buy you something, and you're like, "Oh wait, shit's about to hit the fan. Should I save all this money or buy this thing?
Buy it.
Does this thing help me in more than one way? And I'm gonna buy the thing because the money ain't worth nothing when it's not worth nothing, and it's just a piece of paper to burn."
And speaking of group stuff, that's one thing I have noticed. Going down on several at Palmetto and a couple other ones I get on a daily. Prices have been coming down a little.
People had stopped buying kits. I wish everybody would stop buying ammo. I really do. I wish all you crazy asses that see it go down $1 that you just go, oh my God, I'm buying it all. Yep. Stop it.
Yep. Yeah. The minute you stop buying it as fast as they put it up will be the time they put up more and for less.
And
Yeah, because they're not going to
Because
slow
they
down.
want to sell it.
This
That's what they want is the money. They don't give a fuck if it's you had ammo or not. All they care about is the money.
I've
Yeah,
got
So if
friends.
you will buy 50 rounds for $80, they'll sell you 50 rounds for $80. If you won't buy it for $80, they'll sell you 50 rounds for $60. If you won't buy it at $60, they'll sell you 50 rounds for $50. And if your ass doesn't buy it for that, they'll sell you 50 rounds for $45. That's the lowest they're gonna go.
And speaking of buying ammo, you can see one of us at April 24th and 25th at the Berea Gun Show.
Yes. One of us two will be there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
So, and that's going to be a good one. I think hopefully by next show, I'll probably bring the 2 new shirts on.
Okay.
I think I'm going to get them.
I will tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Show me.
When you must wear a mask, wear you a We the People Are Pissed mask, and you will be asked 10 times in a 30-minute window.
Yep.
1, where'd you get it? 2, how much are they? 3, I really like that thing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I put them. We have them up here. We have them on little mannequin heads right on the display. So people see it.
I'm talking about wear the bitch out in public.
Yeah.
Not in a gun show. I bought one at our gun show. I was like, I like that thing. I bought one.
Yeah.
I wear it out in public, and I swear to God, 30-minute window, walking through the store, whatever. You get the look, you get the, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, that same person's like, I really like your mask.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we sell them.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you do? How much? You got any? I'm like, no, not on me. But we'll be at the gun show here in town, and we sell these, and they're like $10, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll see you. All right, bud.
I actually took the one image that I suggested for new shirts.
Yeah.
And have somebody printing it for me.
Nice.
And I'm gonna wear it to the gun show and see how many times MFers are like, "Oh my god!"
$100 for 50 rounds. What kind of
Woo!
Jason at a gun show? I hope you shot him.
Yeah.
God.
Wow,
I'm telling
man.
you,
Screw
the minute,
yourself.
well, and that's like we did the Hilliard gun show last weekend, right? Was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend, wasn't it?
The weekend before. No, weekend before.
Weekend before. Whenever we did the Hilliard gun show,
Yep.
we told stories last week about the gun show.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, man, the minute these people, because dude, I walked around the Hilliard gun show, and we've done quite a few gun shows.
Oh yeah.
And normally there's quite a few new firearms, like Glock boxes, brand new, SIG boxes, brand new, rifles, brand new, all that. A lot of the booths at the Hilliard Gun Show kind of looked like the guy, had ran out of all the good new shit and went down to the basement, found that shit that he hasn't tried to sell in 5 years, pulled it up out of the basement, went to the Hilliard Gun Show and tried to sell it. And the problem with it is that people are buying it.
Oh, I know.
That's the I mean, I watched a dude, the guy next to us had ammo cans full of rounds. I watched a guy walk away with 2 full ammo cans. Now, he wasn't selling them at blank price for the box. He was selling each bag of rounds out of the box. So he had to go through and count every bag of rounds in the box and multiply the cost by that. Dude walked out with 2 ammo cans full of rounds. The one, it was 10 rounds. I think it was 10 rounds of 308. He wanted $65 for 10 rounds of 308.
What?
There was.
Were they gold tipped?
I was gonna say.
No. $65, 10 rounds of gold, 10 rounds of 308.
Did they have like pufferfish blood on the tips?
I'm not even lying.
I hope.
There was probably at least 100 bags in the ammo can. At least 100 bags in the ammo can.
Well, we saw. I mean, Jeremy and I saw the one, not this last gun show, but the gun show. Oh no, it wasn't with me. It was you missed it, day 2. The ammunition guy.
Yeah.
By us. So this guy comes up. I mean, I'm telling you, he must have grabbed. Well, let's put it this way: he went and got a 2-wheeler.
What the?
Okay, yeah. So he grabbed. Brian was with me. He grabbed an entire 2-liter. 2-wheeler full from top to bottom. I mean, it must have been 5 or 6 cases. I kid you not. This guy counted out hundreds, must have been for at least a full solid 2 minutes. I mean, and they were, Brian and I were looking at each other like, are those I actually got up and looked. They were hundreds. I mean, there was a stack of hundreds like this for that ammo. I'm like,
what the hell?
I'm like, he wasn't armed. I considered following him to the parking lot. Just saying.
Here's a question. Here's a question for the masters while we're talking about this. All right.
Wow.
So not all, but some of the individuals you see out there at these gun shows sniping up ammo and picking up 2 or 3 firearms at the gun show. Trust me, I seen it with my own 2 eyes. I saw it. A lot of them, at least where I was, did not look like they were avid gun people. They didn't look like they were.
You'd have to not be for the prices they're paying.
Right. And I've got friends that are doing it.
I feel you're accurate in that statement. But I mean, does it kind of make you just a little bit nervous to think, for somebody like us, we joke at the fact that you got 1,000 rounds, they call it a freaking arsenal. You know what I mean? We all giggle at that. We think that's freaking hilarious.
We're 2 minutes over in our segment, so you know.
We'll let him finish his thought.
Well, we're off a tangent anyway.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna bring it back in.
Gun shows.
Okay. But
part of it.
We golf and we joke about the 1,000 rounds arsenal thing. Like you said, you just watched the guy hand over a stack of $100 bills for
crazy
a 2-wheeler full of ammo. Is this a person that you're like, that guy knows what he's doing with firearms, or is this a guy that you're like, why the fuck is that guy buying so much ammo? Then to sit back and go, oh my God, he's stockpiling ammo for the thought process of a war or whatever, and I'm gonna have to either fight against that bullshit or deal with that and take the ammo, whatever the case may be. But am I wrong in the thought process? It is astounding to see some of these people, even going to the local gun store, that it's like, you've never ever thought about a firearm in any aspect.
And that's why the prices are so high.
The only thing you know about firearms is they go bang, and the news tells you they're bad, and you're in here buying this shit.
Yeah. So bring it back in to the next segment, which is about the Constitution. I want to preference a little bit what I'm gonna kind of talk a lot about. It's going to seem a little anti-police, perhaps. Well, and here's why. It's a lot about the Fourth Amendment. And the reason I think it's important that we talk about this, much back to the last discussion where we talked about, Mr. Caniglia, taking the court case to the Supreme Court just to fight for his Fourth Amendment right. I think some of these other cases are important to keep in your back of your mind of, being that Biden and Congress are considering a lot of these laws, that in order to overturn a lot of these laws and these executive orders, it's going to take something like that. Now, we all seen the memes. We've probably reposted some of the memes. Yes, there's the other option for fighting those. But if you're not there yet, then knowing your rights. So you know when your rights have been violated, regardless of the current, whatever bill, House bill or Senate bill or executive order, knowing your rights and getting those overturned later on in the Supreme Court, more than likely, because anything that's probably Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, First Amendment right now, you're probably going to have to take it all the way to the Supreme Court, especially if you're fighting an executive order per se. So that's where you're going to wind up. But you have to know, and I was amazed at how much is out there, and even some of the things that maybe I didn't necessarily know. Now you got to go state by state to some degree and check out your state's constitution as well, which we haven't talked a lot about, but there are these other constitutions that each one of our states have. You might want to check out that one along with the federal one. Just saying. Especially in your own state, because there are some things that are sometimes, marijuana laws in Colorado, for instance. You're not going to find a lot of those laws in the federal. So it's important to not only know your amendment rights and the Bill of Rights, but also to know what rights you have within your own state, because sometimes they, they differ a little, and you need to know all that. And again, the reason this isn't bashing cops, but if for some reason these things go further than we hope they will, you're going to need to know your rights. You're going to need to know when your rights are being violated, and you're going to need to know when to shut up, when to talk, when to ask for a lawyer.
Is that the fifth?
Yeah, because they're your rights.
You're breaking into the fifth, aren't you?
There's a little bit of there's a little bit of everything. And there's some really good websites out there. I just did pictures and posts. I've got them saved. I'll try and get most of them up on the Facebook page, and then I'll post some to this. I gotta start posting to the YouTube page some of these things too. After we talk about them, I forget to do that.
I did post the Ohio Constitution in the chat.
Nice. So and speaking of that, and I know Mike's on here, and I'm anybody commenting, I can't see I've got my photos up on here, so I can't see.
Mike just made a statement. We should not have to take frivolous infringements. It's like this big. Frivolous infringements upon our constitutional rights to the Supreme Court over and over and over.
Yes and no. The problem is that when it comes through an executive order and or if it comes through legislation, they have now basically said, oh no, we believe, because when it goes through committee and they go through a committee to decide if it's constitutional or not, they are now, under their opinion, passing that bill as constitutional. Now, people like us may disagree. There may be people out there that are like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, under the Constitution, I don't think they're being violated. That's why we have to, because if you feel that law does violate your constitutional rights, then yeah, you have to fight it.
I think what he's asking there is, how many cases do you, just off top of the cuff, how many cases do you have right now, Fourth Amendment wise, to look through?
Oh, quite a few.
We're talking more than 10. We talking more than 10?
Not tonight. No, I didn't break down
6, 7.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6.
Because last week we talked about 1. Now we're up to 6 or 7.
Yes.
So if all 6 or 7 of those go,
well, no. These ones,
what I think these
ones kind of already have gone through. Most of these are cases that have been proven to be and or violations or not violations of your Fourth Amendment right, most of them.
So if those are already determined to be violations, do any of those additional ones for tonight have the same principle basis as the one we were talking about last weekend?
No. Actually, if you look, there's usually little nuances. This is the problem. They always try and take, especially probable cause or reasonable suspicion. Those are the things that you have to be careful, because because you're really talking now about an officer's opinion. And again, if you pass some of these laws they're trying to pass, they're going to be brought to you under, when the officers are given the law, or the feds or whoever, they're still interpreting that law. So, what the people intended, much like, this boils down to something even simpler. If you think of, we've all read the Constitution, we understand our Bill of Rights, but yet still, over and over and over again, people still try and, go, well, yeah, but, reasonable gun laws are lawful. Well, and yes, and you're correct with that. However, if they go about the process, we're talking about here about more, they have gone through the process to get a bill and pass it, which is constitutional, and then make that bill law. Well, that law could still, because of their interpretation, be put into law, and then someone like you and I would be like, well, wait a minute, their interpretation of that part of the Constitution is wrong, and that's why Caniglia has gone to the Supreme Court, because he believes that under the current laws, even the way they're written, that is not what is meant by the Constitution. Henceforth, this is why we have SCOTUS. SCOTUS' job, supposed to be, is to be the last checks and balance in, hey, we're hearing his argument for, we're hearing his argument against, we're going to look at the Constitution and give our opinion of how we feel. These people, that's why I find it so disheartening about the SCOTUS being so politically based anymore, because that's not what if you get nominated into SCOTUS, you're being nominated into a position where they're saying, listen, you are the best of the best of what we have to offer, and we trust you guys as a whole, and women, to interpret the Constitution and whether this law was unconstitutional or this law is constitutional. That's their job. However, it's come down to, we know, political. We've all seen, over the last 10, 15 years, we've all watched, some pieces and parts of, people being nominated, and it's always, oh, you're for this and you're that, and you're buddies with him and you're buddies with that, and, oh, you had an affair 1,800 years ago with some chick we just dug up out of her grave, and it's become so political. That's what's kind of disheartening a lot about what's going on in the Supreme Court.
But look at the Supreme Court right now. They don't run off of Supreme Court justice. They run off Republican Supreme Court justice, Democrats.
Right.
Court.
Oh, for sure. It's a major problem, and they're supposed to be the last check.
For years of my not political mindset, that's all you ever heard was, the Democrat Supreme Court justices said it this way and the Republicans said it this way, and now they're divided, and Clinton or Obama or somebody put another Democrat in there, so now it's going to sway the Supreme Court to a more liberal stance versus a more conservative stance. It has nothing, like you said, it's not supposed to have anything to do with that. It's not supposed to be
No.
It's not supposed to be 51-49 left or right, to where they get the vote for the most leftist crazy ass fucking bills. They're like, yeah, that's okay with the Constitution because we're we're 51% liberal.
Right.
No, they're supposed to go. Doesn't affect any of these fucking things on this 200-plus-year-old piece of fucking paper. And if it does, fuck off. It's not going to happen.
Well, it's hence the reason that it's not, the Supreme Court isn't a person. When the framers knew that you couldn't just make the Supreme Court a judge, because it would never be fair. That's why it's supposed to be a panel.
Well, is it true that the reason the Supreme Court justices are appointed for life is that's going to be their job the rest of their life? So
more or less,
yeah. Makes it a little more difficult to pay them off.
Well, it's supposed to be. Well, it's supposed to be that, they grow in wisdom, so you're not always getting green people in all the time, because you don't want people, too many people who are caught up in the current political hotbed. Think of all the judges right now in circuit courts that would be considered probably next in line, so to speak. They're so caught up in all this political stuff right now that their human nature, they're picking a side because they've probably voted for one person or the other. You don't necessarily want that person, or a bunch of those people getting nominated into the Supreme Court right now, because you would just by nature get biased opinion. Because look at everything going on in the country right now. It's pretty split down the middle. I think it would be really hard to pick a Supreme Court justice right now who's a younger probably person, because they're probably so caught up in the politicalness of going on right now in the court systems, that I don't even think that'd be viable right now. But because we're gonna run long, I'm gonna go through a couple quick things, and then the homework for B, and we'll get right into it next time at 9:15 or 8:15. I want you to, I really want you to look up the Fourth Amendment and really read it. And especially, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath and affirmation, and look those up, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. And here's why this is going to be important. If some of these laws take place, they're going, we already feel that these laws circumvent the Constitution anyways. But if you know your rights, if you know case law, even just enough to know, I'm going to shut up and get a lawyer, which is one of your rights. It's going to be important to know a lot of these, and I'm going to throw you some stuff to look at and to think about, especially in your vehicle. Look up Terry searches. That's an important one. What is allowable in a Terry search? What is not allowable in a Terry search? These are going to be some of the things that they're going to try and use, and this might be a little rabbit hole towards the end type thing, but I'm going to hit it a little early, way early. But again, they're going to, I believe if they pass some of these bills, this is the kind of stuff they're going to try and take your rights away even more, because you don't know your rights. I think we've all said it on here 100 times. How can you argue your rights, or how can you be mad about it if you don't know what your rights are? Which, we all feel they aren't teaching them in school, and there might be a reason for that, because they don't know their rights. I bet you a lot of these stops that have happened where people have gotten killed, they probably didn't know their rights, and they probably didn't even know they had a right. A lot of these situations, do you know that, and you can look this all up, do you know that if you get pulled over for a speeding ticket, did you know that there is a reasonable time that they have to write that ticket and let you go. And if they have not found anything in plain view, which is important, they cannot hold you and wait for a dog sniffer or any other kind of agency like that. That is illegal search and seizure right there, because they have taken an unreasonable time. They have a time limit at any point in that traffic ticket that you feel that it has gone too far. You can ask why you're being detained. Are you under arrest? And can I go? That is, believe it or not, your right. They have otherwise it becomes an illegal search at any point after that, if they then find anything in your car. And a lot of that goes with the Terry stop, which is Terry versus Ohio. Look that up. Another one I want you to look up, and I know we're way off, Rodriguez versus United States. That was in 2015. It's about the scope of a reasonable stop. That has a lot to do with what I just told you. Check that one out. I will post that one and a couple others. And there's a couple other ones from 2008, District of Columbia versus Heller. I will again put that in. And always remember, you have the constitutional right to be silent, period. Whether you're being arrested, detained, held for question, you have the right to not say anything, and that does not then give them probable cause to search your vehicle and or your home. They cannot search your home without a warrant, or if you have invited them in. If it's 30 degrees below zero outside and they want to come in because they want to get warm, talk to them outside. And all this is going to be important, I think, again, if some of these laws pass, there's still going to be constitutional rights that you have that if they're violated, then anything that happens to you beyond that point, you have something to take to the Supreme Court if necessary, or if nothing else, to court, period. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to go through this, but I'm going to list all these cases. I want everybody to kind of take a look at them, and we'll talk about them more next week.
Nice. And now on to current events.
Yeah.
So today's the first day of Stand Your Ground in Ohio.
Okay, so who has read it? Because I have not. Does anybody know much about it? I do not, I'll be honest.
So what I've read about it is it basically removes your duty to retreat. So
okay.
We do not have to now try to retreat from a possible fatal or deadly situation. That's basically what it did for us. I mean, it removed that whole duty to retreat. Thank goodness. Because my dad and I were talking today, actually. He called me at some point today and he was like, "Did you know that started today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been counting down the days."
And now that's even outside your home, right? This takes
correct.
It beyond
this is everywhere
the
now.
castle.
This is just stand your ground.
This is stand your ground, but in the law, it does state you cannot be the aggressor in the situation, meaning you couldn't have started it.
Right.
And you also legally have to be able to be where you are at. So you can't claim, I'm standing my ground if you broke into somebody's house.
Well, which is good, because when they don't add those things, that's how people get sued for shooting robbers.
Right. So you have to legally be where you are when the incident happens.
Actually good. That's pretty solid writing then, if they did that.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, and that's what I've gotten from it. In the sitting down at lunch today, taking a break, stuff like that. So it's good because now we don't have to waste that time of second guessing. Can I retreat? Because my dad and I were talking today, like, well, think about how long it actually feels like it takes to draw your gun. When you're practicing and you're at the range, well, some ranges don't allow you to draw from hip.
Allegedly.
So, yeah. So, we get some places that will allow us to do this. So, which we need to talk about off air. So, thinking about, okay, so you already have to have that moment of, and everybody's seen the videos, the spur of the moment cop, like think about how long it takes for a cop to have to make a decision, shoot somebody. And you've seen the reporters and they go in, oh wow, that was crazy. I couldn't make a decision. I'm dead. Think about having to then add that, can I retreat thought to the process before you even think you can reach for your gun.
Right.
So taking that away is definitely a good thing for Ohio. Now, the only thing I'm really I'm annoyed about is the news articles I've noticed that are making it about race.
I just posted a link to the PDF copy of it.
Oh,
sweet.
Cool.
So there's been some people that have been posting articles about it and saying how this new law is going to make it so our black men and women and fathers and children are going to be shot more.
No, you know what? No, it's going to allow you to fucking shoot the drug dealers and gangbangers in your fucking neighborhood.
Right. And
only if they're the aggressor and they start the fight.
Right. Okay.
Yes. You can't start the fight.
Fair. I know.
You're only allowed to finish it.
Just be out there willy-nilly and
just pee in my Cheerios.
Which is funny because a lot of the stuff I've been reading, there's the whole, when any state goes to a stand your ground state, you hear it's going to be the wild, wild west. People are just going to be shooting people. Well, no, because in the law,
that's Chicago.
Well, in the law, it states you cannot be the aggressor.
Right.
You cannot be the one that starts the initial situation, like, throwing the middle finger out the window at somebody because you're road raging or whatever you're doing. If you ending up in a situation where you have to draw your gun, you're liable to not be in the right on that. And so it won't be the wild, wild west like everybody's talking about because of that one rule right there. But
how many people, okay, current event. How many fucking people do we know that are CHL?
A lot.
How many people do we, the three of us, know hold a CHL?
Tons.
Okay.
I don't even know if I can count.
How many of those people that we know that hold CHLs wander around just whipping it out everywhere they go?
Their gun?
Yeah, I'm like...
Yes, their gun.
Whipping one out.
Now, wait a minute. Does that make you the aggressor?
Yes. It also can get you on a sheriff's website in the right places.
Your argument in these articles, the argument is this is going to turn the world wild, wild west. There's 34 fucking states since January that have stand your ground.
Right.
And I'm looking at one right here from Newsweek. Ohio Stand Your Ground Law Explained.
Yep.
Just the subject line in the search, it says at least 34 states had stand your ground laws or expanded the measure to apply beyond your home as of January of last year.
Yeah.
If it was gonna be the wild fucking Wild West, it would have already been the wild fucking West.
Right, and it always happens in the States where, when they first initiate Stand Your Ground, it's all about, so many more people are gonna die.
Well, but I mean, you can say it's selective outrage and selective trauma.
Well, here's
why. MLB pulling out the All-Star game from Georgia because of the fucking voter
to move it to the whitest city in America.
To move it to a state that already has that fucking law. They already have that law. They moved it to a state that has the exact same law.
And no offense to anybody, but can you imagine? If you think about that, and I'll guarantee you, and I wouldn't say I know this for fact, but I would call this fact. If you look up minority-owned businesses and compare Denver to Atlanta, I'm gonna bet that move has hurt more minority businesses and probably And probably
selective
smaller businesses
outrage.
do exactly what they're saying this voter right takes away. It's probably hurting those type of people, black, white, purple, than it's ever going to hurt in Denver. Denver, it's like those people don't even need your money. A city like Atlanta needs your money.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, you ignorant assholes.
Selective outrage, sir. Selective outrage. Oh my God, you did this? We're not going to do for you. All right, cool. Well, you just
I'm thinking about moving to Georgia now.
You just went to this other state. Well, they did that 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. They did the exact same thing with the exact.
It gets like all the memes. All the memes are perfect. Try picking up your tickets at an MLB game without an ID.
Right. Oh yeah.
Try it. Just try it.
True story.
So look at you like.
Now we're getting it. Now we're getting into the last 15 minutes.
Right. So we can just
So the one thing about the stand your ground that I really question is, and Palmer said it as an armed society is a polite society. It's not just an armed society; it also has to be educated, because there's going to be people that are going to do some dumb shit and get shot and be like, I didn't know.
well, but that goes back to our second segment. You have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to a lawyer. Use them in those situations.
Well, I mean, in general, is the guy that's trying to rob somebody.
Even the guy trying to rob somebody should not speak.
Are you saying, Mike Cosper, that if you decide to go out and buy a firearm, get a CHL, and you decide that that's all you need, that you need a CHL because the state says you need it, and you need a gun because you feel like you need it, that at the bare fucking minimum, you might want to get with like USCCA and get you some fucking insurance.
Yes.
And some education.
Yes.
And the free education that comes with paying for it.
Yes.
That's not a horrible idea.
And you should go to something other than the basic shooting that they have you do at your CCW. You should go to a defensive shooting class. You should further educate yourself with your firearm. I tell all my friends. Well, so there's a lot of new friends.
Now you're asking too much, man. The only reason they went out and bought a gun
I had to go buy the gun. I had to go get ammo.
I'm telling you right now, man, half these fucking people we're seeing at these gun shows, half these fucking people we're seeing at the Vances and the outdoor stores and all that, buying up all these guns and ammo. Or literally, if you ask them why you're buying a gun, they are not going to say because Biden became president, because the world's going to shit, because they're trampling all over our Constitution. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say because the guy that was president for the last 4 years that's not president anymore, it's because of him. I'm getting a gun because of him.
The funny part is about those people though, and I know, and it is, it's concerning because those kind of people probably. They're probably not going to go out and get education. They're probably not going to go shoot. And not all. Some will. But the truer part of a lot of that is, dude, 99% of those guns will stay in the box they bought them in,
right,
under their bed, or
in the top of the closet.
I saw a guy at the gun show. I was working, 2 weekends ago, and his buddies were trying to, you could tell his buddies were kind of gun guys and he wasn't. I heard their conversation. They stopped because, we're at the corner there. So they were stopped waiting for people to come in and out. And he was, and I swear to all that's holy, the guy goes, "Oh no, I'm not going to buy any ammo. It's too expensive. I'm just going to pull it out if somebody breaks in."
Oh, fuck.
Hey. Mike,
he didn't.
What is the one thing that when we go to these rallies, these armed rallies that we go to, or the Second Amendment events that we go to, what is the one thing that will get me so riled up, ready to like fucking knife hand the shit out of somebody if I see them doing it with their weapon?
Well,
flagging people?
Well, flagging for one, I would say. I mean, the guy using it as a cane was pretty.
Yeah.
That one was pretty bad.
Ask old Brett Sky what he saw on Sunday when he was at the gun show.
Well, he's in here, so hey, Brett, what'd you see? So
yeah, somebody bought himself a nice shiny AR platform.
Oh boy!
Turned around and got asked what it was, and the guy didn't even know what manufacturer it was.
Oh god!
That was the first one. The second one turned around. It was either I can't remember if it was the same guy or another guy, but apparently there was somebody that bought him a fresh new AR and then turned around and used the motherfucker as a cane. I'm glad I wasn't there because I'd have thrown his ass out myself.
No, see, all my friends, when they come to me and ask me questions about, like, you know, hey, what should I get? What should I buy? Should I buy a gun? Is this ammo good? The first thing I tell everybody is, I'll help you. I'll talk to you about it. I'll help you educate yourself, but I want you to further educate yourself other than going and buying your gun. I want you to go and do the extra courses and the classes. And yes, it's going to be a weekend here or a full day there.
And we know people.
Yeah, and we do know people. Some of my friends are out of the state, so they're not going to drive from
well,
you know.
I'll tell you this: when people come to me or the girls and ask, because
oh shit, what'd I say?
They've asked in text messages, and it's like when I find out it's like a wife wanting to buy for her husband or a husband wanting to buy for his wife, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but I end up being that guy going, you know, it's really not a good idea for you to buy for them.
Not really.
One,
no.
Technically, it's not a very legal thing. I mean,
not exactly, no.
It's still, I mean, it's gray, but it's not a very legal thing.
Yeah, with husband wife, it's kind of gray, isn't it?
I said it's gray, but it too. I mean, your choice, your decision, or my choice, my decision, or their choice, their decision, may not ever be what that other person wants.
Oh, for sure.
If you want to educate yourself, get prepared, have protection for yourself, your family, and surrounding bystanders. First things first, one, educate yourself on firearms. Find a firearm that fits your hands, fits your style, fits your eyes, fits your position.
Oh my God, and you can go so many places now and try weapons.
Right.
You can walk into a gun. I think Vance's does it. You can go into Vance's and say, I really like that Sky, right? Can I try that Sky? And I guarantee you they will say yes. You can get rounds. They will let you try that Sky,
right?
And the price of the rounds you just bought gets removed from the purchase of the firearm if you buy it.
Nice.
If I am not mistaken.
There's a place in Canton that's
really
nice.
You can't, like online buying. I built my AR pistol, right? Do you know how many AR platforms I've shot in my life? So yeah, I can get online and pick and choose AR parts.
Right, yeah, you're gonna
an AR pistol. But I'm not gonna run out and pick up a Firefly. I've never shot a Firefly.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how it shoots. I can watch YouTube till I'm blue in the fucking face. It still doesn't mean.
Well, that guy was so cool, and that guy shot it.
Right.
Right. So I mean, when it comes to like asking your friends, yeah, you can ask for advice, but never go, you know, what kind of gun do you have? I'm going to go buy that one.
I think the only exception to that is a basic entry-level AR, because I think they're all pretty much very similar.
Right.
I mean, I would say
yes.
Afterwards, but a very basic AR, I think just about anybody could shoot.
I'm not going to disagree, but it's still at the same point. It's a different feel. If the only thing you've ever shot in your life is a BB gun, grabbing an AR, you're buying an AR for $6, $7, $8, $9, $1,000, and then turning around and shooting it, you not liking it and throwing it in a box and leaving it there for 30 years.
Oh, you can turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree, but like you said,
well, if they take care of it and it's not a bucket of rust.
How many people are out here spending a fortune on firearms that 2 years ago was a third of the price, that, like you said, they're just going to be left in the box under the bed.
Oh, I'm waiting
stuck in the
for those
corner with no rounds in
from
them.
under the bed. I figure another 2 years of glorious Biden years, they'll all be like, we don't need our guns anymore. I'm hoping.
What do you think? I mean, now this is the last 5 minutes. So I'm going to ask this question. What do you think do you think they're just buying them, waiting for the mandatory gun buyback so they can get a little money?
I would think that'd be
$50
dumb.
for their AR.
Yeah, right. That they spent $1,200 on.
$1,500 on an AR. Here's your $200 receipt.
Well,
I'm gonna be standing like right down the street with a sign.
Well, that was like that guy at the one gun show.
I'm getting 2x4s and piping, dude. I'm making my own all day. I will take a $75 gun in there and get $200 out of it.
Well, so it's funny though, because with the one guy I watched buy the AR I have, the Ruger 5.56.
Yep.
Right.
That guy paid like $900 for
I
it,
know.
and I paid $400 for.
And they're eating them up, dude. That's why I found out the one gun guy that where we were sitting.
Yeah.
For Summit. That's why that guy wasn't there. He was out. He was
Just
out of
completely
guns.
out of firearms?
He was out of guns.
I don't have guns. I'm just gonna go buy my new
That's why,
Mercedes.
yeah, because he normally comes in with like 7 or 8 tables.
Yeah.
And he was telling I talked to the one guy down that sits normally below him, and they know each other real well. And he's like, yeah, he only had about like maybe 1.5 tables worth to bring, so he just didn't come.
Didn't bother. Yeah. I mean.
I'm like, good God.
Right.
I mean, that means how do you sell out of guns?
Well, today it's very easy. You find the sucker that walks through the door every 5 seconds, and you just say, "Hey, I got guns," and then they buy them.
Yeah,
I was watching.
It's gonna be a long time before I buy one.
By.
Yeah, I got lucky when I did with mine when I traded
I can't
mine
even
out.
buy. I saw ammo. I saw a 9mm for $25, and I almost bought it, but I'm like, I'm not doing it.
I'm
not doing it.
Man.
How many rounds was it? 1 9mm for $25?
No, it was a 50.
It was a $50. Wow.
Yeah,
Were hollow points?
The name, and I can't even pronounce the name. It was in some blue. It almost looked like Israeli writing on it or something. It was like, I'm like, I've never even freaking like heard anybody talking about that name.
Well,
Never seen them before.
How much of this shit's out here floating around getting sold right now at gun shows? Steel case, not even brass case. Steel case.
I'm sure that
there
had to be.
I mean, there were people at the Hilliard gun show selling reload. That's all they were selling.
Oh, dude, the one guy by us,
reloaded.
dude, the one guy at the one that comes to ours, he is selling 50 rounds of steel reloads for $40.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he sells out.
Yeah. Is that the guy that brings his son to everything?
Only one shot?
Yes.
What?
Was he guaranteeing that they'd only been shot once as a reload?
I mean, now don't get me wrong. Now, if you look at his stuff looks solid.
Okay.
I mean, he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing, but it's like, really, go F yourself.
Right.
Like,
right.
No way.
But that guy actually brought the one of the like first weekends I worked a gun show after the Rona stuff and we were allowed to do gun shows again. That guy brought a van and a half of ammo and sold it all.
Yes,
There's
I
a meme that starts out like that. How do you get somebody like me in an unmarked van? Just write the word ammo on the side of it.
Goodness.
You can't tell me that wasn't a fucking meme waiting to happen right there. Dude rolled up in a fucking van full of ammo.
Yeah. Dude, and the funny thing is he's a woodworker, but
yeah. Which is even more funny. Like he didn't even start really doing it until he realized how much ammo could be, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna fill my van and bring it and see what happens." And basically, he made enough money to buy a whole new van.
Yeah. Well, he actually sold both tables this time.
Nice.
He brought 2 wooden tables. He sold them both.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's a seller's market. It's been that way for over a year.
Oh.
and you can just tell. We said at the beginning of the show, look, you want the prices to go down on firearms and ammunition? Stop fucking buying it.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop.
Just stop fucking buying it.
Your guy with the 2-wheel is just hurting me right now, man.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. The gun guys and gals, if we just stop buying it, they'll drop the price.
I think there's enough of new buyers that don't care. I don't think if we as gun owners, the original gun owners, the old school gun owners before Corona, I don't think even if we all stopped, it would change anything, because that's how many new buyers are just buying ammo like crazy.
So you're telling me you think the people that ran out the minute Rona started, bought themselves a firearm and bought them a couple of boxes of ammo, are out every weekend shooting like we would?
They're not out shooting.
They're just buying. They're just stockpiling.
All my friends that didn't buy a gun and told me I was crazy for owning a gun up until Rona hit, now are buying guns like crazy, like freak, and then ammo is like fucking Pez, man. They're just out, buy. Every time they see ammo, I get a box or an email or a text message saying, "Is this good ammo?" And half the time I'm like, "I've never heard of it before. I don't know."
Just say no. It could be the fucking best ammo on the planet. You're like, no, it's shit. Don't buy it.
I think I got sent that same box of 9mm, the weird blue and the weird writing on the side.
Yeah,
is this good? I have no idea, man.
I know. They were throwing out names I've never even heard. I'm like, right. I don't know. I don't know. Go ask the guy who's not going to buy ammo. I don't know.
Right. Well, we're one after. Oh.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal out there.
Well, kids, we'll talk about the crazy world again.
Yeah,
the last.
I'll post some of that Fourth Amendment stuff here in this. So if you guys go to the end of this, if you go back and watch the rerun, you don't have to go all the way to the end. Go to the chat. I'll put them in there, and I'll put them on the Facebook page. And then we'll talk more we'll get into the details of some of that stuff next week.
Nice. So thank you guys for hanging out and doing the show.
Hey, is that like 2 or 3 weeks in a row?
Whew, it's a record, I think.
Are we going to do next Tuesday?
I think so. I think so.
There's a few people I'm surprised aren't in here going, holy crap.
Should we try to do a special live event from our camping weekend?
We can't. There's no way. Who has cell service down there?
He does.
Oh, we might be able to try then.
We'll try. We'll give it a try. We'll see.
We'll try it.
Maybe if you're not.
It depends on what's going on. If we go.
Yeah.
Just maybe. Keep focused. The 16th or the 17th. Keep focused.
Yeah, because I think we can go live on the Facebook page. Too.
Oh, nice.
Or the Facebook page. I mean,
we might as well get kicked off now. I mean,
Facebook, keep your eyes open. You might see a pop-up of a, impromptu.
Now, wait a minute.
Friday night or Saturday video.
So you can show a movie. You can show a movie on Facebook.
No, actually, you can't.
Well, I've seen clips of movies where people are shooting. So if you go live shooting, is that not allowed on here?
I don't know if you can go live while you're shooting. I'll have to find out.
I know if you're monetized, you can't, because they'll demonetize you.
On YouTube, on here.
Oh, either one. I mean,
I'm pretty sure Facebook's very, very quick to
cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I think they even have it in their listening for music and sounds. That's a sound that they will immediately.
Oh, well, then I guess there's no fucking rap music on Facebook then.
Right. Well, you're not supposed to play music on Facebook anyways.
Let's go back to what we said earlier. We're going to circle back there to what we said earlier, and that's going to be a selective outrage.
Yes.
Only certain things come into the ear.
So, thank you guys for staying and watching. Thank you, the people that liked the video. Thank you very much for the likes. Please share, likes, subscribe, hit the little dinger button with the little bell.
And trust me, if your friends don't like you, they'll like you after listening to us crazy.
Yeah, bring some damn friends.
Not as crazy as we are.
Right? I'm trying to see if there's anything safe. Nope, there's nothing safe that I can show my. You'll get, if you actually hit the bell, you'll get a notification that we came live
I got mine. I've been getting them.
Yeah, there's nothing. I've got a few things on my phone.
I think I get one every Tuesday, right around.
I get one every Tuesday.
7:55, 7:56.
Right. So, thank you guys all again. Please be safe. If you guys ever have any questions, want to talk about something with us, or want to know anything about the group, hit us up on the Facebook page. Hit us up on the website at heartlanddefenders.com.
Here, hold on. If life's getting you down, come talk to me. I'll make it all up.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. And now we're going to get false advertising.
I'm a nice guy.
All right.
We're demonetized for sure now.
Thank you,
We
guys.
never make money from this.
I know.
It's like a job, not getting paid.
Oh, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Have a good one. Be safe.
Later.